Oh, there we go again. Stella time. There we go again. I bet someone out there's thinking, there we go again. There's this drunken old bastard again. I'll get the last of the Stella there. Times are hard. Times are hard, you know. Can't leave anything in the can there. 2 people watching, okay? Bloody good. Double Dead Cat, aye. Okay, nice to hear from you, Double Dead Cat. Very refreshing. Hello, hi to all you. Oh, quite a few people here already. Mr. Matt Frost, Mr. Lamb's Navy Rum. I've got a surprise before. This time. Never revealed before on this live stream. I know it's not my little one. I showed you that last week. Anyone wants to see my little one? Go and tune into last week's live stream. It's there on my list. Okay, Brian Dawson, how are you? DJ23, like the goat. Lovely, nice title. Good evening to you all, Kieran White. Okay. Hello, Edward from Miami. Oh, that sounds like a lovely destination. Mr. Kojak. Okay, it's great to. This is Tuesday evening. I was planning on doing a live stream tomorrow evening, midweek. But it depends when you're in the mood. Sometimes you're really in the mood for this sort of thing, and sometimes you're not. And if this is a little bit later, it's 20 past 11 UK time. I believe that's about 20 past 6 US time, or maybe 20 past 5, something like that. I think it's a reasonable time. This Stella is going down very, very well, okay? Now, what I want to talk about in this stream is... No, it isn't, Diamond. Mr. Mitt, how are you, Mr. Mitt? Great to see you, my Facebook friend. Great to see you. What I want to talk about in this live stream, okay, you know, a little bit of background first of all. As everyone knows, you know, I've actually booked a flight to Bangkok for the beginning of November. That's 3 months away. The climate isn't looking very, very healthy at this moment in time, but it's 3 months away, and a lot can happen in 3 months. I haven't said that. A month ago, when I booked the flight, I did make the statement that a lot can happen in 4 months, and a month has gone by and things don't look to be better. People are talking about a second spike of this dreaded virus, this, that, and the other. I've heard stories that Thailand is in no hurry to let people in. They've suspended international flights indefinitely. I'm hearing all kinds of stuff like this, but at the end of the day, rock solid facts. What are the rock solid facts? I don't believe there are any rock solid facts. I'm hearing more and more people. Saying to me, haha, Eddie, I told you so. Okay, well, that's a bit unkind. They don't quite mean it in a malicious way like that. But I'm hearing more and more people saying that I've got no chance whatsoever of going out to Thailand until at least next year, probably late next year, maybe even the year after that. The fact is, when people say you've got no chance of going this year, is that a rock solid fact? Do you really, really, really know that for sure? Where is your evidence? Because at the end of the day, we're still in unknown territory. This is a happening that I don't think any of us have ever been through before. No one really knows what's happening. And some tells me that, you know, my flight is 3 months away. And I'm still, you know, for all that's going on, I'm still feeling quite positive. I still think that Thailand needs that peak season, so they will be looking to allow tourists in again, one way or the other. Okay. It was that there. Vietnam have started recording deaths. So no travel bubble for a long time. Oh, geez, I know. Vietnam was held up as a shining example, wasn't it? Just over a week ago. And then within a couple of days, you know, they were talking about 8,000 people being evacuated from Da Nang. This is a terrible year to be a travel vlogger because people aren't really traveling the way they want to. I mean, I wouldn't normally be traveling at this time of year anyway, but I'd be looking forward to my travel, pretty soon. But it's not going to happen. I'll put it off till November. Well, we've said enough about that. Let's have a little bit more about the chat. Thailand, no one knows when Eddie can go to Thailand. That's right, nobody knows. I don't know. I know that I've got a flight. The fact that I've got a flight booked for the beginning of November, that is a rock solid fact. But the fact that, am I going to be going there, or are people saying that I'm not going to be going there? None of that is facts. It's just, people believe what they want to believe. Tom Bernard, if you can do 14 days quarantine, you can go in November. Okay, now this brings me to the subject of the day. Well, geez, I'm getting my flight details up here. Okay, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay. Now, what I want to talk about here in this live stream is quarantine hotels in Thailand. And I've tried to look on the internet to see what I can find out about them. I haven't actually heard that much feedback about quarantine hotels. Let's just assume that flights, we are allowed back into Thailand, Bangkok, before the year is out. But we got to go into 14 days quarantine. I believe it's actually 15 nights from when you get off the plane. So basically, because there's not really a great deal of information. I haven't found much information. I simply want to talk about quarantine hotels. What is this all about? And what happens and how does it happen? And how much is it going to cost you? There are no rock solid facts, remember. Simply trying to gather a little bit of information as best I can. So let's see what we've got here about quarantine hotels, okay? So basically it's 15 nights. What's it say here? Quarantine hotels in Thailand. Where to quarantine, okay? Now, I'd assume it's going to be Bangkok. It's going to be Bangkok. I don't really believe it's going to be any other part of Thailand. Let's see. Most foreigners may stay at one of the approved quarantine hotels in Thailand for 14 days. Now, do they choose it for you when you step off the plane? Or do you choose your own hotel? It's all questions. The process of quarantine at government-approved hotels in Thailand at the traveller's own expense is called alternative state quarantine. ASQ, it's even got a title. Alternative state quarantine. Currently, there are 34 hotels in Thailand that are approved for offering alternative state quarantine services to foreign travellers. Full list of alternative state quarantine hotels constantly updated. Who must stay at alternative state quarantine hotels? Well, I'm talking about tourists here. At the moment, I think Thai nationals are staying in quarantine approved hotels. The people who are watching this channel here are not Thai nationals. We are tourists. We are British, Americans, Australian, Canadian, whatever, looking out to go to these places. So I'm going to concentrate purely on tourists, yeah? Okay. Jeff Sperry. Oh, here we go. Okay, someone's given a bit of information here. Let's see. Okay, Ronnie loves Poontang. 40,000 to 50,000. Google's giving me. There's probably a good little thing on this mobile phone here that Google will give me the information, but it comes up sporadically. I still don't know how to activate this voice thing here. But Ronnie Poontang is saying 40 to 50,000 baht for the hotel's 15 nights. Okay, now let's just talk a little bit about prices. Okay, now I've heard all kinds of prices bounded around. The cheapest for 15 nights I have heard is 30,000 Thai baht for the 15-night period. 30,000 Thai baht, what is it? 30,000, that's about 750 quid in today's money. So that would be 50 quid a night in English money, wouldn't it? It would be, what is that in US dollars? 15 nights, 30,000 baht, it'd be close to $1,000 US. It'd be around about, yeah, about $1,000 for 15 nights, okay? And I believe many of these hotels, that price includes transport from the airport to your hotel. It includes 3 meals a day, and I think it includes the medical assistance. So it doesn't really sound that bad. The fact is, if you're going to spend 50 quid a day in a hotel in Thailand, I would expect to have, I would expect to enjoy it, entertainment amongst that 50 quid a day budget. Whereas, really, I mean, it's not going to be fun, is it? You don't want to spend 50 quid a day to not have fun. But they're the cheapest that I've heard, 30,000 Thai baht for the 15-day period. That is the cheapest figure. I haven't heard anything cheaper than that. Ronnie Poontang said 40,000 to 50,000 Thai baht. Okay, and of course, if you want to go to the luxury, end of stuff, sky's the limit, isn't it? You can pay 100,000 Thai baht for the couple of weeks period. Sean Moore, cheapest I could get was 32,000 Thai baht. You need to pay up for the COVID test, COVID insurance, and it all has to go through the embassy. The embassies can't cope, really. Where are you from? Sean? Where are you from, Sean? I'm talking, when I'm talking about all of this, I'm referring to how it's going to be late in the year. Most of us watching this will not be traveling at this moment in time anyway. If you're going to be going to Thailand, you'd be looking around about the same time I was, maybe later this year when the peak season kicks in. Spindrift. Oscar 69 doesn't include long time, but it includes 15 nights. That's long enough, isn't it? Oh, I thought that's what you meant. Okay. Ozzy, I read an article that it was 80,000 baht. I think you mean baht. Can you spend the 14 days with a girl? I think the idea is that you spend it with no one, just your sweet little self. That is the idea of quarantine. It's isolation. You're going to be isolated, for 2 weeks, and it's not going to be much fun. Peter Blue, £50 a day, no ladies included. Yeah, sounds about right. So basically, it's time. Let's see. Latin America, thanks for that comment there. It's very, very nice of you. $2,000 for 2 weeks. Doesn't sound too good, okay? Let's have a little look at what else I've found out about them. So the prices of them, 30,000 baht for the 2 week period. That's the cheapest. They're not going to, I think they're not going to put you in a bargain basement Bangkok hotel. And a lot of these hotels, I think they can be the outskirts of Bangkok, or they could be in the Sukhumvit area. Not that it would make any difference, really. I mean, if you're in a lockdown quarantine hotel, does it really make it? It'd probably torment you if you were close to where the action is, and you could hear people having fun outside, and you're stuck in your quarantine hotel. Now about this, Thai hotels are offering luxury quarantine packages as an alternative to state-funded isolation. Oh, luxury. Okay. Yeah, you can get luxury hotels, okay? Let me have a quick look at all of this. Well, of course, the sky's the limit. If you want to stay in a luxury hotel, you can pay a lot more money. But what does that entail exactly? The fact is that if you're going to be stuck in a place where you don't want to be for 2 weeks, locked away in this hotel room without other people, I mean, who else are you going to see? Who are you going to see other than maybe the maids, glimpse the maids? And they're going to be wearing masks, and you're not really going to see other people for those 2 weeks. So would you want a luxury? What do you want to splash out and have a luxury hotel instead? Really? The fact is, even if you can afford a luxury hotel, let's say you want to spend £100 a night, 200 quid a night, if you really think you can afford it and you want a bit of luxury, are you going to enjoy that luxury? I don't think I could enjoy it, really. I would just want to get out of there. You're going to have a luxury sauna and a swimming pool and all this kind of stuff. I'm not even sure if you could use stuff like that. They'd allow you to. I wouldn't want any luxury. I just want to I just want the whole nasty ordeal to be over and done with. Movenpick BDMS Wellness Resort, Bangkok. The 14-day health watch package offered by the Movenpick, I think that's the name, Wellness Resort cost 50,000 baht. I'm assuming that would be for the whole period, and offers luxury accommodation in a single occupancy wellness suite. As well as being provided with 3 meals a day, guests will receive an initial consultation with the doctor, daily health monitoring under a nurse's supervision, immune system enhancing supplements, and a COVID-19 test at the end of their stay. Yes, the package was initially available only until June the 30th, but this is that's about a month out of date, but I'm sure this is a more updated one. Yeah, you can get luxury, but what the hell's luxury? I wouldn't enjoy it. Even if I could have felt that I could afford to stay in a luxury hotel, which had all the trappings of a luxury hotel, my mind would be elsewhere. I would just want to get the whole nasty ordeal over and done with. To hell with luxury. I'd be counting the days and the hours. DJ23 like the goes. Places will be dead too, so not much fun like you were used to. Most bars have no customers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you are right there. And I heard somebody saying the other day that in Bangkok there's hardly anyone around, even in the busy Nana Plaza. And you tend to think they're always busy, those places. Even in those places, there's hardly anyone around and half the bars are shut, simply because of lack of customers. Well, the fact is that this time of year would be quiet anyway. Cassie, I say this on every live stream, but if you cast your mind back a year before any of us had heard of this virus, there were lots of videos on YouTube around about this time of year where other vloggers were saying how quiet the bars were and they were empty and there's no tourists. And the reason for that is because of the strong Thai baht, and we thought Thailand was becoming, was pricing itself out of the market. But this is low season, come the peak season, it's different. It's a different kettle of fish. Thailand here on, at the moment, people are paying approximately £5,000 to get there from the UK, which is the flight, quarantine, health insurance, COVID test, etc. Well, the £5,000, that'll be the major part of my budget. I've actually purchased a flight. It has a contract, a flexi contract, which means I can change it or cancel it and I get most of my money back, something like that. But the flight with the reputable airline, the flight that I've got, it's a 4-month ticket for the beginning of November to the beginning of March, which I believe will go ahead. I'm still thinking positive. And that flight came in at about 530 quid, 540, something like that, the return ticket. So I think that's fairly ordinary. Let's see. Okay. Let's see now. Let me see. Okay. Why would you want to go to Thailand? You stay locked in a hotel. Piece of blue. Why would you want to go to Thailand? You stay locked in a hotel for 2 weeks. This is an important issue. Why would I want to go there? The reason I want to go there is because that's only for 2 weeks. I'm planning on being away for 4 months. I often do 5 or even 6 months a year, but I'm planning on doing 4 months, which is about 17 or 18 weeks. So to take the first 2 weeks out of it, it still leaves me with a lot of time. So, I probably could suffer that. It wouldn't be a pleasant. I wouldn't want to do it, but I have to do it. I will do the 2 weeks quarantine. But for someone, a lot of people who go on holidays for 2 or maybe 3 weeks, see that this is a different kettle of fish, a different scenario. One of my Facebook friends the other day mentioned it'd be no good for them. The most he could go out there is 3 weeks. A lot of people have working commitments where they simply can't go away for more than 2 or 3 weeks. And then to add another 2 weeks quarantine on top of that, it's simply unrealistic. If I only had 3 weeks travel, I wouldn't want to be doing 2 weeks quarantine on top of that. I wouldn't want 3 weeks to become 5 weeks. I wouldn't do it. But I'm going for 4 months. That's the plan. So you know, I can live with 2 weeks out of that. Fluffy, yeah, I wait. Fluffy bunny feet. I have a ticket for 1st of October. Now I am glad I have a flexi ticket. Well, you're about a month before me, so if you can go, then I can go. Uh, I also have a flexi ticket, and yeah, good luck to you. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, spin it. Let me see. Mike Chef, do you bear? Cover up, Eddie. I always use the packaging. I always come in a nice, in a nice rubber package. Definitely. Never leave home without one. By the way, the Philippines is a different kettle of fish out there. You know, they don't really approve of them so much there. But we're talking about Thailand there. Okay, Donald Boudreaux, steady Eddie. 4 months of lovely ladies. To be honest with you, I'm not thinking of lovely ladies right now. Although obviously they will be on the menu. Yeah, I just want to get out there. I want to be walking around in this wintertime in shorts and t-shirts and drinking a cold beer at a pavement cafe or in the hot climate. That's what I want. Oh, bloody good stuff. Is that the lot of that? Yeah. Okay. Tintin, how are you, Tintin? Well, Shadow, glad you didn't book Spain, Eddie. No, this is interesting. I went to Spain a couple of years ago, and let me just tell you, you know, I'm currently going through my working cycle, my main working cycle of the year, and I'm working every day, and I'm earning money. And what motivates me to work every day is that I know that I'm going to be going away in the winter time and spending that money in a hot, sunny climate, having fun. Not like these sad bastards who go to their local social clubs. Oh no, I've been through all that before. You know what I'm coming from there. But this is the month of August, and let me tell you that my favourite time of the whole year for me is actually at the end of August, because that means that I'm coming to the end of my I've come to the end of my working cycle, and I've got a lot of winter ahead of me. In recent, last year, where did I go? Krakow. Krakow. I went to Krakow. I've done a couple more. I come back from there and done a couple of weeks casual work, and then I went away to Thailand, and I've come back for a couple of months during the winter, and then went back out again for a couple more months, and it was terrific. So really, at the end of August, that signifies that my working cycle is over and my fun is going to begin. But it's not the same this year. It's not the same this year. I've put it back to the beginning of November. So the fact is that right, at the end of this month, I mean that's a great time of the year for me. But it's going to be different this year because I don't think I'll be going away in September anywhere. I was looking at places like maybe Romania or somewhere in, but I'm not too sure people who watch this YouTube channel would be interested in places like that. A couple of years ago, I went to Spain, and I actually think that was the first time I'd ever been to mainland Spain. I've been to the islands, the Canary Islands, Mallorca, Ibiza, all those places. I went to mainland Spain. I actually found it to be quite dull. I always thought Spain would be, a beautifully exotic place. I thought it was quite dull, really. I think I've had it with Europe. Europe's a great continent, but I think it's how many churches, how many cathedrals can you see? And I think it's a bit boring, really. Mike Chef caught crabs. Yeah, well, absolutely. I've had the crabs. I caught crabs in the past. Yeah, seen a girl a few weeks later, and she was walking sideways. Maybe she got it from me. Okay, Andrew McIver. I have family in Thailand and going through the process to get back. It's sold as this is a serious one. Okay, Andrew McIver. I have family in Thailand and going through the process to get back. It's soul destroying. 3 repatriation flights a month, all sold out for Thai nationals, then a 15-day quarantine. Well, my thoughts are with you, Andrew. My thoughts are with you. And all I can say is good luck to you, mate. I hope you reunited with your family very soon. David Michael, Russia will have a vaccine to be available on August the 10th, yeah? I'll believe it when I see it. Do you believe Russian people? Okay. Jeff Speary, I think this year is a washout. Well, we already know that. Think about 2021. Zing Zing, Romania would be great. Yeah, I was thinking of Romania. And for maybe September. I've never been there. I've been to Bulgaria and a few other countries, but I never actually made it to Romania. I was looking at videos of Romanian beaches, some of those beach towns, and apparently, and I know for a fact that there are some beautiful, beautiful Romanian girls. Let me tell you, if you want to sample a local cuisine, usually the best place to do it is in Amsterdam. There are some beautiful Romanian girls. I would rate them very, very highly. I've encountered a few of them, and there are some lovely, lovely Romanian girls. But I looked into it, and basically, somebody made an important comment on one of the beach videos that I was watching about Romania, and they said that all the most beautiful Romanian girls have actually left Romania. They're probably in other places. Romanian girls, I rate them very highly. They're not, they're not what you would think. They're lovely, but I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. Club Villas. Have I been to Ukraine? Have you been to Ukraine, Eddie? Yeah, I have been to Ukraine. Ukraine is another place which is a lot of lovely ladies in Ukraine, no doubt about it. But those Eastern European places, I had great reports about Kiev, and it is a lovely city. But I don't really, with regards to looking for the hot ladies, I don't trust those places. I don't trust it. Some of those Eastern European, they have a culture of tourist traps and big rip-offs and that sort of stuff. I can wander into a go-go bar in, Thailand and fine, not a problem. Not really any hassles, nothing you can't deal with. You go into a lot of those Eastern European places and they will sting you big, big time. I just didn't get my head around Ukraine. The problem with those big cities, the likes of Kiev, I found it was very, very cold and uninviting. Nice city and all that, but no, I don't think it's really for me. Croatia, never been there. Never really heard that many. Never really heard that many good. Latin America. Where in Bulgaria have you been to? I'll tell you when I went in Bulgaria. About 15 years ago, I went to Bulgaria. And I'd already travelled through Vietnam and many other third world countries. And I went to Bulgaria and I started in Sofia, the capital, which is not very, very glamorous. It's quite run down, really. And travelled by train, one of those old sleeper compartment trains, like you get in the Alfred Hitchcock movies, from Sofia down to Varna on the Black Sea coast. And I actually found with Bulgaria, it's very, very difficult to travel around independently because hardly anyone spoke English. They may do in the tourist areas, but I actually thought the infrastructure of Bulgaria was actually more third world than many third world countries that I've been to. I could travel around Vietnam and Thailand quite easily, but Bulgaria seemed to be, I don't know, it seems to be not really geared up for independent travellers. But there is a beautiful place in Bulgaria called Veliko Tarnovo, which is a lovely historical town with a fortress, and that's very, very pleasant. Well worth a look. Okay, now what are we talking about? Anyone else got anything to say about quarantine hotels? Let's talk a little bit about quarantine hotels, okay? Now, what happens? This is a scenario that I don't think many people will ever have encountered before. I certainly haven't. When I travel to a place like Thailand, I book my hotel in advance. I use booking.com because it's so simple and it's convenient. I get my flight, I get off the flight, and I may get a bus from Savannah Bhumi, I think I said it right, or whatever the hell it's called anyway, the Bangkok airport. And then I go downstairs and get the bus to Pattaya. In the past, I've stayed in Bangkok. Fine, I'll make my own way there. I'll get a taxi or whatever. And I'll go to my hotel that I've pre-booked on booking.com. Fine, and I'll stay in that hotel. I'll get in there. I'll have a shower. I'll have a beer. And before you know it, I'm out the door and I could well be heading for my nearest massage parlour in Soy Honey or wherever. Absolutely fantastic. First night on the town, then go bars, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, okay. Now, this time, this is a scenario that I don't think any of us have ever known the likes of it before. Let's just imagine what it's going to be like this time. You get off your hotel, sorry, you get off your airplane, right? At the airport. What happens when you go through immigration? I don't know. What are they going to do? Stand over there, you know, put an X on them and then stand over there in the corner. We'll be with you soon. And then these people come and march you to your transport, and then take you to your hotel. And then you're taken in your hotel room and told that you've got to stay there for 15 nights. And we'll feed you. We'll give you a bit of Wi-Fi, a bit of entertainment. But, you're going to be on your own for the next 15 days. No entertainment. You can't leave the hotel room. It's bizarre. It's something I've never ever come across before. I mean, what is it actually going to feel like? What is that going to feel like? If you know what's going to happen, then you're probably more prepared for it. But what is actually going? It's going to be a strange sort of eerie experience. No, I said a moment ago, I could probably get through that simply because I'm going away for 4 months. Someone who's going away for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it's not realistic. It is not realistic. You cannot go away for 2 or 3 weeks and then have another 2 weeks of quarantine put on top of that. It's just not realistic. So, my hearts go out to anyone who love going out to Pattaya or wherever for 3 weeks a year, because I don't think it's going to happen. But we'll have to wait and see. Nobody knows But what kind of food are you going to get? Well, obviously, you're going to get their local food, but that should be included with your hotel price, whatever your hotel price is. But I've heard something that, Jesus, turned my stomach when I first heard it. And I don't know the full script with this, but someone did leave me a comment, give me full details of the hotel and what it adds up to and the food and everything. But they did say, I dread to even think of this, no alcohol. Come on, there's got to be alcohol. I'll be bloody climbing walls. I have to stay in an alcohol-friendly hotel. If they deny you alcohol, I mean, Jesus, we don't really know the full script yet. But when this guy said, there's no alcohol, I took that to mean all the hotels, all the quarantine hotels, alcohol is banned. That's absolutely crazy. I wouldn't see the point in banning alcohol anyway. I mean, you're going to be, the idea of banning alcohol during the COVID outbreak is because the thinking is that if you drink alcohol, then you're going to be drinking it in a social environment with other people, and then the social distancing will go out of the window. Whereas if you're in your hotel on your own, well, I mean, what's the problem with drinking alcohol? Unless they're going to give you some kind of a medicine where alcohol doesn't agree with the medicine. Oh, I'd go crazy. I'd go bloody crazy. But then, if I was forced to stay in a room for 2 weeks without any alcohol, what would the consequences would that would be? I'd suffer from depression. I'd be climbing walls. But you never know. You never know. I may come out of that a better man. I may even come out of that at the end of the 2 weeks as teetotal. Teetotal, even that word, that's a horrible word, that teetotal. I may come out like, and not want alcohol again. Actually, being dry for the whole 2 weeks might make me a changed man. This is bizarre. This is bizarre. It's a very strange year. Zing Zing. He's obviously been to Romania. He's giving me great reviews. Spindrift, women in Croatia are stunning. You give me ideas now. Anyone out there know the script with that, by the way? About the situation with alcohol in these quarantine hotels? Anyone know what that's all about? Give me some information. I think that really will be the final nail in the coffin if I'm told that I can't even have a drink there. Eddie, what's the Hostel box set? No, I haven't seen this. Joey Roberts had to pay a bribe in Kiev to to the police to get my passport back. I never had that problem. Okay, I'll tell you what, it's time for a drink. And I'm going to bring on something that I've never actually brought on before. You've seen me with the Lamb's Navy rum, with the Scouser brandy. Now this, I'm not really a big whiskey drinker, but Hague, yes, it's got a bottle. It looks like, what does this bottle look like? It looks like one of those shower gel bottles that you get. You know, one of those glass things that if you break them, you're going to be paying $10 for it. Matured in bourbon casks. Okay, Hague Club. Now, I think this usually goes at, I think it's usually about 28 quid, something like that. I managed to get this for 16 quid. It was on special offer at my local Tesco. Okay, and it's pretty good stuff. Okay, let's give it a shot. Hague Club. Sorry, Google heard me saying the word Tesco and somehow co-op and the weather came up or whatever it was. Okay, Hague Club. I believe that was advertised by Golden Balls, wasn't it, Mr. Beckham, at one time? I think he appeared on an advert for this. I think I'm right in saying I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine Beckham drinking whiskey? I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine that. I couldn't imagine Prince Charles having hot, steamy sex either, for what it's worth. Okay. Oh, let me see. Chris Petcow, do you work on fitness before you travel? You're having a bloody laugh, aren't you? I've got an exercise bike. I've got an exercise bike, and I bought it a couple of years ago. Thinking, this will be all right. Watch TV while on the exercise bike, and it'll burn off all the junk food and all the other rubbish and the beer and everything that I consume. Never got around to using it. Well, for 5 minutes, whatever, 5 minutes. But that's about it. I do press-ups about twice a week, and that's about it. I used to be pretty good on the weights many, many years ago, but, getting on a bit now. What is this kind of talk? Let's see. Spindrift. Bulgaria was a third world country in the 90s. Don't know what it's like now. There's a lot of Bulgarians who live in England. They're nice people. Think about Bulgarian people. They're very, very, very lean. They're naturally, they don't seem to have a problem with fatness or whatever. Romanians are very the same. And I do recall it when I went to Bulgaria. Jesus Christ, honestly, they are the most underrated beauties in the world. Bulgarian girls are beautiful. They are lean, skinny, if you want to use that word. They have sort of olive skin and they have dark hair and they dark features and oh, they're lovely they are. And they wear these tight leggings and thongs and oh, jeez. Oh, I better cool down. Now, come across a few lovely Bulgarian girls in my time, I'm pleased to say. And they're lovely people, really nice people. Okay. Rodney K. Eddie, do locals understand the words you say? I'll tell you one thing. Thai locals and other locals in these kind of countries never ever understand is my name. They never understand my name. How many times have I come across a Thai girl or Cambodian girl or whoever? She said, "What is your name?" I've said, "It's Eddie." What, Atty? Atty? Your name is Atty? No, Eddie. Etchy. Etchy, is that your name? Your name Etchy is no, Eddie. Etchy? Etchy? No. Look, have you heard the name Edward? Have you heard that name? Oh, Edward. Oh, yeah. They wanted to say that name, but they never say the other name. Jesus Christ. What have I got? Yeah. David Mayer, Counterhead. You've been watching Harry Enfield. Okay. Nice glasses, Eddie. Do they make a version for men? Yeah, okay. These glasses come from Phnom Penh, by the way. They were very, very good opticians in Phnom Penh. I went there. I got a couple of pairs of glasses. It was recommended there. I didn't have to have an appointment or anything. I walked in, they give me a free eye test and then give me two different sets of glasses, one for long vision, one for short vision. Excellent. Well, not a problem. Ashcroft, I'm only a lot from Ashcroft. How are you, mate? How are you, mate? I steady, Eddie. Do you not fancy Albania? Now, it's probably a nice country. It doesn't have the best reputation, but then neither does Romania. And I'll tell you what, let me just tell you straight up, okay? Let me just tell you straight up. I have been quite a lot of times to that wonderful European city of Amsterdam. And yes, I've done a bit of window shopping. And also ladies there are absolutely, some absolutely stunning ladies. They come from Romania, who I would rate very, very, very highly. Bulgaria, who I would rate very, very highly. Other lovely destinations like Ukraine and Italy, quite a lot of it. It'll be absolutely wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And I've very, very rarely had any bad experiences. Only on 2 occasions. And one of them was with an Albanian girl. Yeah. Lovely girl, lovely, beautiful girl. But, she pulled a fast. I won't go into a lot of detail. Let me just say she pulled a bloody fast one. I mean, I was really annoyed. All those other girls were really, really great, really straight. But her, crafty bitch. Crafty bitch. Her and a Colombian girl as well. Oh, Jesus Christ. But the fact is that all the other girls in Amsterdam are wonderful girls, wonderful. Okay, let's see now. I think that's enough of that. So Albania, I'm sure there's some nice Albanians. She wasn't, but I'm sure there are some nice ones. Let's see. Let me see. If they ban the booze, go back to Phnom Penh and get prescribed some beer goggles. Oh, geez, I don't know. At this moment in time, in this late Tuesday night, early August, it's 3 months before I start traveling again. And a lot can happen in 3 months. It may turn out good. All the doom and gloom people, no one knows anything. Just remember, nobody knows anything. People are saying more and more and more, you can forget this year. You can absolutely forget it. I'm not forgetting this year. I like to travel every year. And I still say that Thailand will need that tourist season. They've got to let's put it this way. If this year's a write-off, and let's say they start the flights at the beginning of January, which is still a pit of winter, obviously. Well, it is the pit of winter here. But if they begin the flights at the beginning of January, then they will, at that time, have lost half of the peak season, because the peak season is from November to March. If they lose November and December is probably a very, very important tourist season for Thailand, because obviously Christmas, and then how many people who go out there at Christmas time, go abroad at Christmas time, simply because they're in working situations where they can only have 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And Christmas is one of them. Summertime's one time, Christmas the other time. A chappie who watches my videos got in touch the other day and said he was quite gutted because he was planning on flying out to Cambodia this week, and obviously it's had to cancel. And I think he is in the situation where he only has 2 or possibly 3 weeks at the most. You've got to grab it while it's there. This is another thing, you see, which is worth mentioning about that Christmas period, about people's working commitments. They may only have 2 weeks or possibly 3 weeks at a time. They may only be allowed by their work commitments to have that length of time. Somewhere like Thailand has got a reason that they've got to realise that they will lose those tourists, even if they open up the international flights in time for the peak season. And but with the restrictions of they have to have 2 weeks quarantine, even if the flights are moving before this year is over, if they've got that 2 weeks quarantine as the rule, they will lose those 2 week millionaires, those 2 week tourists. who traditionally go out there at Christmas time, because no one who has 2 weeks off can simply afford to take 4 weeks off instead. It's just not going to happen. So I don't know. It's up for them. It's up to them to get their act together. Alan Brundle, hey, actually, will you do the 14 days quarantine still go in November? I'm prepared. I'm prepared. David Slater, hi, Eddie, love your channel. Have you ever thought about going to Nepal? I'd love to see you in the mountains. I don't know, do I look like someone who's going to climb Everest? I've thought of Nepal. I've had great reviews about Nepal. When would I go there exactly? Because I go to a place like Thailand in our wintertime, which is their summertime, the pits of winter. I think Nepal would be too cold for me then. That's really, really too cold. It's all right if I was, into mountain climbing and all of that. I've heard it's an amazing place. Maybe September could be a really great place for somewhere like that. I don't know. I've heard it's a great traveling destination. Club Fillers, is Amsterdam nightlife open? I don't know. I heard some of it's open. I haven't been there. All I know about Amsterdam is that, this has been such a bad year. My favourite little airline is gone out of business. Flybe, which flies from, it's a propeller airplane. Which flies from Exeter to Amsterdam, and it's a great little service, and I've been on it many, many times over the years. But they went out of business. I don't think that's due to the COVID either. I think it's simply, they went out of business for all the reasons that airlines go out of business. I mean, the airplanes that Flybe used were very, very old propeller sort of planes. I mean, it was so old. I mean, the first time I was on one, someone took the steps away and the plane fell over. Very old airplanes, but it had their own little charm. Okay, fancy a trip to Milan? No, I've got a friend who went to Milan. Sounds bloody expensive, there. Not for me. Bobby Webber, no one knows anything like Trump. Well, he knows how to become president of the United States. Well, Dean, just tuned in. How you doing, Ed? Yeah, I hope Thailand's opens at a high season. I think it will. I mean, they need that sort of season. And, oh, Jesus Christ, they're going to suffer badly. You must have seen those YouTube videos and hearing the reports of how those bars are empty. They would be quiet anyway this time of year, but now they're super empty. They're, extraordinarily empty. I heard a lot of those bars are not even bothering opening. And, and this is just Thailand that we're talking about. How about Cambodia? Poor old Cambodia. How are they doing right now? I haven't really heard that much feedback from that country, recently. Okay. Now, that's another thing. This is something else I've been reading about. I don't know the full details about it. David Cook. I thought September the 26th, Phalang kicked out of Thailand. You may have heard this. I've heard September the 30th. That's the date that I heard. All Phalangs are I'm not expats. I'm pretty sure they don't mean expats. But all those visas are going to be revoked and Phalangs are going to be thrown out of Thailand. I don't know the full details about that, so I'm not going to really go into detail until I know what I'm talking about. But you're hearing all kinds of strange things right now. Anyway, up to now, what do we think of this Hague club? Okay, a little quick review of this. It's nice. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Just a little teensy-weensy bit of ice, okay? A little teensy-weensy bit of ice. So the review of this Hague club. What kind of name is that, by the way? Hague club. Hague established 1627. Well, I've only heard about it until David Beckham advertised it. Only ever drank it since it was going on offer. £16 for a 70cl bottle. What do we think of Hague Club? Well, it's tasty. It goes down really nice. It was famous. The Hague. The Hague is that place in Holland, isn't it, where all the international criminal court is. What else is Hague? Whenever we heard of Hague, William Hague. He was the leader of the Conservative Party. He couldn't find anyone better. When he in opposition, and he chose him as, that funny little guy. But William Hague, he married a really, he was an ugly little bastard, wasn't he? Someone said he looked like a fetus, little snooty voice and bald head, and he married a glamorous blonde. Good for him, good for him. But then the rumours came up, a couple of years later, that it wasn't all that it seemed, William Hague. The rumours came up because apparently he shared a hotel room with a bloke. Simply, on a business trip or some kind of trip abroad that he made. He shared a hotel room with a bloke, simply to cut costs, of course. Only for economical purposes. He was married to a lovely blonde. Okay, okay, we will go. Leave it there. Remember that photo of him when he had this cap on and he kind of looked like Jimmy Somerville out of Bronski Beat. Married to a glamorous blonde. Okay, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm very broad-minded. It's up to each what they, Alan Brudel, he was Thatcher's love child. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. She probably had bigger balls than him. So what do we think of this? Now, it's nice. It's very nice, but I'm not a big whiskey drinker. I like the Lamb's Navy rum. I like the Scouser brandy. I like a bit of gin. Whiskey, I used to drink it a lot, but it seems to get pushed. It's now and again. What is this like? If you are a whiskey fan, you may well like this. It's called Hague Club. I think it usually goes about 28 quid a bottle, but I got it for 16. It was on special offer, and it's nice. It's not a rocket to the moon. But let's put it this way: if in a few months from now, I was stuck in a quarantine hotel in Thailand with nothing to drink, I'd bloody kill for a bottle of that. Honestly, oh well, we'll see what happens. Okay, let's see now. What have we got now? Okay, well, I've been on for 53 minutes now. Let's have a little gander. Anything else that we've got to say about these quarantine hotels? It's going to be. It would feel like a very, very strange, eerie experience. Stepping off a plane and being taken to one of these hotels and being told you got to stay there. I've never experienced anything like that before. I'm sure most of you have never experienced anything like that before. So I wouldn't look forward to it. But the only reason that I would tolerate something like that and still go ahead with the flight is simply because I'm planning on going out that part of the world for many, many months, well, 4 months anyway this year. And, but for someone and I feel sympathy for you, if you regularly look forward to 2 or 3 weeks in Thailand each November or December, the idea of doing a 2-week quarantine, it's unrealistic. So, you have my sympathies. Here it says there's a shortage of alternative state quarantine hotels for returning foreigners. The thing about the internet is that you look at some of this stuff to try and research it, and you tend to find, a lot of the stuff you're researching is out of date, even if it's a month out of date, or even if it's a couple of weeks out of date. That's still significant. Things are changing so rapidly here that it's information is changing day to day, and really the best we can do is just look on the news and find the lanes. I'm just looking forward to a news story that says that Thailand has decided to reopen its borders, and is allowing international tourists. Okay, if it doesn't happen the next few months, fine, but they need that peak season. They do need that peak season, and the sooner we get news about that, the better. Okay. Adrian Smith, is Hague a bit harsh, or is it a bit smooth? I'd say it's smooth. It's quite smooth. What is my favourite whiskey? I like Johnny Walker, Red Label. Yeah, bloody good stuff. Any other whiskey I like? Well, I don't know. Could you include the Mekong whiskey that you get in Cambodia? I've had a 70 cl bottle of Mekong whiskey out of a supermarket in Phnom Penh for as cheap as $1. Usually it's $2 or $3, which is, but it's still really damn cheap. Let's see. Okay. Someone mentioned those weighing troll videos on the. Have I seen any of those weights? I don't know. I haven't seen, but some of them are funny. They are. Don't take them seriously. Let's see. Okay, Mick Tomasi, yeah, lovely. Okay, so Daniel Kelly, hey, why don't you go fly to Cambo and sneak across the border to Thailand? The fact is that Cambodia. Whenever I've been to Cambodia from the UK, I think it's always, hasn't it always involved going to? Oh no, I did go through a phase when I was going to China first and then onto Cambodia. The fact is that Bangkok is still, the huge international hub out there. Bangkok is the place that you fly to. From Heathrow to Bangkok, flights seem to be getting better value and easier as the years go by. So yeah, I'd probably be considering Cambodia. But during those 4 months, I'd be planning on border hopping. Yeah, going backwards and forwards to maybe Cambodia. Maybe Laos could be worth another visit. Maybe I'd visit Laos for the second time to see if it's any better than the first time I went there. This. I like the idea. I like the idea of border hopping, but let's just get out to Thailand first of all. Ernest Connell, steady Eddie. I'm at the bar in Florida promoting your channel. Thank you, Ernest. God bless you. God bless you, Ernest. Really appreciate that. Let me tell you something. These live streams I'm doing, now, I know they're a little bit primitive with this mobile phone, but I'm all for a bit of simplicity. I could, tart up. We'll talk about that, another day. Some of these, some of these live streams I'm doing, but I think it's about information. I mean, my live streams are doing okay. My last live stream actually got more views than any of the ones that I've done before that. And, at the end of the day, the purpose of doing stuff like this is that this is a bastard of a time right now. And those of us who love traveling to the Far East, Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, wherever, I think really you just need to just talk about the current situation. There's no point at the moment me making videos about, travel or whatever. I've run out of a lot of it. I think I made all the videos that are really, from my last season of traveling. I've exhausted all of that. And I kind of think, what's the point of making, YouTube vlogs, travel videos, I don't know, 5 things you need to know about Thai girls. What's the point of making videos like that? I mean, I know some people can do stuff like that, and it's all really entertaining. But I think right now, at this moment in time, I'm not sure that people want so many travel videos, like that. Information on, what it's like if you 5 things you need to know about Thai girls. I don't think people really want stuff like that. I think what people want is to know what's happening with the current situation. I wish that I could tell you solid facts about what's happening, what's going to happen. The problem is, in this bizarre, strange, bloody awful time, there are no real solid facts. I mean, I've looked on the internet the past couple of days about what's the script with these alternative state quarantine hotels. What is the script of them? What are they all about? What is it going to be like staying in one? And the facts are that you know, it's well, the only thing that I can judge is that the cheapest one I've found is 30,000 Thai baht for a 2 week period. You can go much upwards of that. But you never really know what they're like until you actually stay in them. I've never stayed in a hotel in quarantine for 2 weeks. I've never ever done that in my life. If I go to Thailand, this will be the first time I've ever done that. So there's no solid facts right now. No solid facts. Let's just keep doing live streams every week and see if we can pass on a bit of information to each other. Let me see now. LMG, Costa Rica, beaches, jungle, bars, nightclubs, and hot women. Not as cheap as Southeast Asia, but good bang for the buck. I went to Costa Rica about 18 years or something like that. I thought it was a little bit over. I went to a couple of beach resorts there. One was called Playa del Tamarindo, which was nice. It was nice. Another one, Punta Arenas, with the water was bloody awful. I overall thought Costa Rica was a little bit overrated, but I did think that the neighbouring country of Nicaragua was far better. I love Nicaragua. I went to, where did I go? I went to Granada, a fantastic, it used to be the old capital. I went to Granada in Nicaragua, and it had some fantastic live bands, and the vibe, it was just like nowhere else. It was tons of character and tons of characters. So Costa Rica, cool, but Nicaragua's better. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to wrap this one up now anyway. We've done about an hour. Let's see. Okay, Zing. Thanks for that comment anyway. Yeah, it's the simplicity. Kieran White, Open Thailand opens it October. Direct flight from London Heathrow. Currently 375 return for the month. That sounds bloody good. Yeah, you can get some good value. About a month later, do I regret booking that flight to Thailand? No, I don't. It's paid for. It's there. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I've got a flexi ticket, which means I can get most of my money back in. But I don't want that. I want to be on that flight. I want to be there early November. I like to know where I am, and that's what I'm working towards. It's still 3 months to go before November comes. 3 months before the peak season in Thailand comes. Anything can happen. Anything can happen during that period of time. Let's hope it's for the good. Okay, listen, I'm going to wrap this up now. Bloody good stuff. Okay, just want to say one more thing. My last week's live stream, which I done last Wednesday night, that's it turned out really well. I think some people may even have shared that live stream, so it makes a big difference to my channel if you do that. Thanks to anybody who shared that live stream on social media. It's not mega views, but you know, for the live stream, it's still pretty good anyway. So if anyone wants to share this video, please feel free to do so. I'm going to wrap this up now anyway. I'm going to say thanks for watching. Keep thinking positive. We will be in the sun once again, in the pits of winter when people are suffering back in the UK, and I hope nobody suffers in the UK. But you know what I mean. I want to be wearing shorts and t-shirts in a hot, sunny climate this winter time. That's what I'm working towards. I still believe it will happen. Okay, listen. Look after yourself, everybody. Keep thinking positive. Hey Club, not a bad whiskey. Give it a try. Okay. Thanks for watching, guys. Cheers, and I'll see you soon.